Hello. Okay, that's me all up and running, I believe. I think. Ah, there we go. Stream manager is now showing. Perfect. Happy days. So, getting ready to start the fourth case here of crimes and punishments. The Abbey Grange affair. Okay. Yeah, the stream manager thing seems freezing every now and then.
Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
Interesting. Harpoon. And the silver knife. And that was the fate of Black Peter. Yeah. Ah. Okay. Little on the rails. And then Bloodbath, most recently. It was emerging late night. Summons from surroundings wrong at the Abbey Grange. It appears to be a case of murder. How many people are there to speak to in this level? Only 3. Interesting. Not many people left, actually. Only 10. Oh well. Where's Toby? I need to speak with Toby. There he is.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Is this going to be the same thing? Yep. Don't know why Holmes's telescope seems to be pointing to
my analysis table. It is useful
lady.
for my...
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
It's the very first time that I've been allowed to write a single letter, and you are the first person who I would wish to address. I've done, but at the same time I find myself grateful for you uncovering the truth. That's given me an enormous life lesson. I also thank you for my conditional sentence, for soon I may be able to live a fulfilling life once again and not be condemned by society. How lovely. That just tell me about the research, yep. Okay, letters on the table. Whoa. Oh, this table? There we go.
The Brackenstall family coat of arms. A wax seal with the monogram E.B. I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
Believable. Marshman Kent. I'm glad of your immediate assistance and will promise to be a most remarkable case. But I beg you not to lose an instant as difficult to believe. Sir Eustace there. Yours faithfully.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always, it appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms.
Oh,
The crime was committed before midnight.
almost as bad as
How can
Captain
you possibly
Dibber
tell?
yawning on stream.
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It
Why,
makes
yes.
sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
No wonder based on the time we're at. Well, I spoke to Toby. Nothing else for me here at Baker Street just now. Does he have deductions already? Oh, yeah, nothing at the moment. Makes sense. Okay, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Interesting.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room.
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Oh, stop yawning, Martin.
Sir Warthen Brackenstall. Lord George Brackenstall.
So many Brackenstalls.
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall.
Lady
Okay, I'm not allowed that way yet. Oh,
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room.
I want to do the picture, not
Lady
speak to
Brackenstall awaits you
Lestrade.
in the morning.
The Brackenstall
There we
family
go.
seems rather austere. Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
I wonder if she's got a black eye or not. Or a brooch. Elegant dress. Wedding ring. What else is there? Oh, old bruises. Start with the marriage.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again.
There we go.
Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him
Why
a
does it
terrible
keep
blow with
making me
a book.
look at the maid?
I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Your ladyship?
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Did she say she'd been tied up or restrained in some way? Because surely there'd be rope marks or some form of restraint marks if she had been. Bit coincidental that there happened to be an article on them nearby. What do we have here? Old Bruises, Lestrade's statement. So investigate the murder, inspect the room where Lady Brackenall's resting, that's what I'm doing just now, and the crime scene in the dining room.
The gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
Well, that tells me she's lying. Fate to no story, inventing order to blame Sue's death on the Randalls. That's my hunch, anyway.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame.
Oh. Ta-da.
This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it. This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one?
Is this really necessary? We're doing all the bits.
So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
Am I just stealing their photo? It's not very nice, surely.
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
She looks tired. Might just be age. Handkerchief, vinegar smell. Okay.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. If I'd known...
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
She's lying. It's convenient.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship?
Have to open it. Well, 1893 would be my first guess, but naturally it's not a digital lock, is it? Well, only one person left in this case. This is only case 4 as well, there's 6. So is that 3 and 4?
Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
Okay. There we go.
It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
Not one that knows what they're doing.
Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care.
See what this says. Hepatic decomposition. Then there are the lung abscesses that we have discussed, the leg cramps. Jesus, he's falling apart. Excess of alcohol, tremors. Oh well.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have...
Oh, more questions for you.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behaviour.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead. But a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. One with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
Is she trying to run away from something then? The lady who personally married Sir Eustace shot off arrived in England and remained at home during that time. There's little possibility that she or her maid are acquainted in the country. At the moment, I don't have any evidence of that. Yeah, I didn't think so, but worth a try. Okay, I think that's everything in this room then. You want to speak, Lestrade?
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
Set the dog on
The
fire.
alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
Well, frankly, I don't care. If you set a dog on fire, who would do such a thing?
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
A hunter's cabin. A hunting scene. Antique hunting weapons. The hunting scene. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen.
And again, if you're a thief and you've already robbed houses with valuables, you would
empty
take
silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents.
But then steal the candlestick. I am no buying it like. Missing something.
A bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
Barely worth the effort of killing someone.
A deer hunt.
Three glasses.
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing.
Well, fuck,
Chateau
beeswing.
Calon-Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru.
Probably one that's missing.
A decanter standing next to the open bottle, an inseparable pair indeed. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear.
So the third one wasn't decanted or wasn't poured at the same time. Is this here?
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
Interesting. Was cut there, yeah, okay.
A fur trader's cabin.
Alright, let's look at this body.
What have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
Barefoot. He had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress.
Would make sense.
Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon.
Yeah, even if you're using that to walk with, surely you would have swung back.
That must be the murder weapon. The head was cracked with the force of the blow. It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation.
Or his head was struck when he was already on the ground. Poker for that. Could have been. There were 3 people drinking wine out of those glasses. One of the 3 probably prefers wine with beeswing. There were 2 people drinking wine out of these glasses and one glass with the beeswing consists of dregs from the other 2 glasses. Made to look like there was 3. I'd buy that. Could have been due to his accident. I think it's... Don't think it's an accident. I think he's murdered. Nothing to run into there. Right, let's check the other door here.
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there. Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me.
Okay, dokie. Go find Toby. Love it.
This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
The death was instant.
That what you got from here? Okay. Let's have a look out here. Don't expect to find anything out here, but you never know. Because surely they would have fled through those French windows if they were the criminals, so there should be... Okay, just exit, fine. Can't go in there yet. Okay. Doesn't appear to be anything outside unless I've just been an idiot and missed it. Oh.
A trapper's hut.
I thought it was a trail, so yeah, I'll come back. Right, perform analysis on the rope. Some dialogue about the wine, so let's go to Lestrade first, but I don't think he'll be interested.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
That just doesn't ring true.
Please leave my Mary alone.
I've searched outside for footprints without any luck.
This house feels rather sinister. I can't...
Okay, to Baker Street then. Toby, time for you to spring into action. No new deductions, take it. Ooh, oh well. Guess not. Where's analysis? Let's examine this rope.
The rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut.
That indicates scissors or...
To find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Okay.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Interesting.
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Science. Okay.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
Is that mine?
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
Harsh, but fair. Oh, who's a good boy, Toby? Who's a good boy?
Search, Toby.
Ah, I get to play as Toby. How cool is that? I wonder if there's a way I could bark. I can. Whiff, whiff, motherfucker. Run as fast as I can with my little legs. Called it would be going in here. My guess is this is where the knife is that was used to cut it.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Come on, Toby. Get those little legs going. Funny feeling we'll find silverware in there.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Oh, stop yawning.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
It is odd, isn't it? Alright, to the shed first. Do things in order now.
This hook might be useful.
Cool.
Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Oh, okay, is that all? Oh well, bit disappointed there. I thought there'd be more in it. Find a use for the hook. Hook, hook, follow the hook. Hook, hook, follow the hook.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
A hook, maybe? So...
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence.
No, definitely not Holmes.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Case closed. Whew.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall.
Oh, didn't mean to select that. Oh. Interesting, so I can already potentially solve the case by effectively just blaming her. 1 second. So let's have a look-see then. Because naturally for the trophy I need to do all endings anyway. So I just really need to make sure I'm not going to lock any out to myself by doing this. Like, do I have to do this now, or will it become unavoidable? See all endings, here we go. Okay, so there's only 3 options. The next one does have some missables though, okay. So, not making any conclusions just yet. I changed them all. Oh, and what's that there? Murderous visitor. He was tall and strong. Look for a sailor. Wow, okay. Is this just generally a really short case then? And where would I find sailor? This is... So I've got some dialogue options there. Search archives. Ah, right, okay. Well, let's go back to Baker Street then and search the archives. So what are we looking for? It was Rock of Gibraltar, 1893, Adelaide. It's the name of the ship and the date. Okay, can rock with that. Hello, archives. So, chemistry, that won't be any help. Poisons, winds, martial arts. No. Newspapers. Well, let's say 1893. Rock of Gibraltar's arrival. James Jones returned from a 6-month voyage, ship brought to England. This Fraser family owning land in 10 mines in Australia. Adelaide, Southampton, London line. Canard Building, James Street, London. Has returned from a 6-month voyage through India, New Zealand, Australia. Ship brought to England, Miss Mary Fraser. Okay.
Here it is.
Not really any names in there for me. Task for Wiggins. Ah.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist. Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really
Good
think
lad.
you'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
3 hours later.
Here it is,
Probably
Mr.
is.
Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
See, this is where you can't just say table. You've got plenty of tables. Which table has he put it on?
I left it right on the table for you, sir.
Oh, there it is. It's on the
This
same
list
table.
shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
Okay, 1994. Family on May 6th, 1894. Arrival in London, England on November 12th. So they weren't here, the Gaia. Good, it goes to the bottom. Rock of Gibraltar again. Departure from London, October 17th. It's due to arrive months from now. Departure from London, England on November 10th. Oh, okay, so he was, Bass Rock here was in the 7th of November. He's away now, I think. Are we same day? I don't know. And they're gone, so in which case it's this one, this Bass Rock one. There we go. And so let's see here. Charles Chill, nope. Jack Crocker, yep. Henry Southward, nope. Ernest J. Woody, nope. Thomas Walker, nope. Nope. Nope, which means Jack Crocker, our captain.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
2 days, so he's still here just now.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
Oh,
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the... This list...
so departs on November 10th. Not, sorry, in London. Edward Cooper. No. Frank Wilkie. No. George Stewart. No. Neil something. No. Peter Davidson. No. Duncan Chalmers. Right, so yeah, none of them. Departs from Adelaide Studio on October 23rd. Not bad, till March 2nd, 95. So they're not here. They're not due to arrive until November 12th, so they're not here. And again, they're not here, so yeah, it's only him.
This list... I do not think that this sailor has any connect... I do not think that this sailor... Mr. Jack Crocker was in London.
feel like it's wanting me to do something else, but I don't know what.
This list shows the senior officers. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Alright, is it expecting me to do this?
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Alright, whatever.
This officer is still at sea. This...
Charles W. Chill and William Pletridge.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London. This officer was on a ship. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
That was a bit annoying that game forced me to still store all the names off.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this...
Here? Holmes...
No problem.
Sometime later.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
It's got a great beard. Crotch shot. Sea knife.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
How dare you
Indeed,
indeed.
how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You? And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No, there is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Not all.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
I'll come back to that. Because was there not a dialogue option? Yep. Got him as the last person. Great. And one bit. I go to Abbey Grange. Can I ask about the silverware? And then that's potentially this case done. It'll be the shortest one yet, at just over an hour. Well, actually the first two were 2 hours, and that third one was 3, Bloodbath. That was a good one though.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Sorry, give me 1 second, just messaging the other half. Okay, let's go ask, see if he'll let me ask, what's her face about it?
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Right. So, feel this is an obvious one. The ship guy done it to cover up the fact that the husband was an abusive git. So let's do the wrong ones first. Let's blame it on the actual criminals. Boom. Glory to Lestrade. Yes.
Well, Inspector, this case proved to be a simple one after all.
You think it's the Randall gang, then?
Yes.
I'll put my men on it straight away.
I'll leave that to you, Inspector. After all, you have handled this matter quite brilliantly.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I do appreciate it.
There we go. So now, was it domestic accident? So 2 people. Randall's blamed. Deadly accident. And no acquaintance. And there we go. absolve her.
Ladies, I know the full story. You are both guilty, are you not?
Mr. Holmes, I can explain everything.
No, madam, he's bluffing.
It is no use. Your husband was a violent man, a cruel man. Your argument last night ended tragically, with him stumbling and falling, fatally striking his head upon the fireplace grate. However, your mise en scène to divert suspicion was unnecessary. You should have admitted the truth.
The truth is often subjective, Mr. Holmes.
Not to me.
What will you tell Inspector Lestrade?
He will find nothing, as he handed the case over to me. Farewell, ladies. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
I just want to check, did I find all the clues? Yes, I did. Excellent. Choose another ending. Yes. So now I go for the correct one. Oh, Puppy's getting a bit anxious. She'll be needing out. Yeah, she will. 10 o'clock. That's fine. Do the last ending. It's okay. And involvement is clear. Poker blow. And there we go. Captain is the killer. Arrest him, absolve Captain. Absolve him. Because you know I'm the nice guy. And besides, this guy set the victim set a dog on fire. That's not okay. So I have to get hit over the head with a poker more often.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Barely an hour has passed.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
What? I was a bit slow to react there.
Watson.
It's over, Holmes. We can do nothing for him now.
Here is a case that didn't end as I had expected. It is entirely my fault. I know that you have already drafted a summary of the case. You have my permission for its publication, if you so wish.
I'll think about it, Holmes.
Holmes! Whatever is going on here?
I want to change
That
this.
is Sir Eustace's killer. He has performed his own brand of justice.
My God! But why did you not call me?
I apologize. Here is his letter of confession.
So much drama.
You have no idea.
Oh. I'm redoing that. He's not getting to die on my watch. I'm Sherlock Holmes, damn it. Absolve. Yes. Oh. Itchy nose. It's getting a bit dark in the room now anyway. Definitely won't be able to do this much longer. Well,
Wiggins,
only a bit
could you
later
ask
to do.
Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Skip some of the dialogue.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes? What?
And because it is
I admit, I was due to... Oh, I regret...
Lady Bracken,
Mary.
I'm trying to be careful, I don't want to
but that
Mr.
overshoot
Holmes.
it.
you would not have man.
Till I die, do you hear?
Oh.
Now it is time to end this.
Oh. Press. Oh, thank God for that.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I
Oh,
wished only to test
Crocker
your
there. Hold your
sincerity,
herrings, Captain.
and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night.
Yay. Happy endings.
Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
There we go. Captain's killer. Absolved him. And accept decision. So yeah, hour and 10 minutes for that one. Oh, very conscientious. Aren't I just fabulous? And that's that. Case number 4 done. 2 cases to go. Oh, well, I'll end the stream there just so I can check on Puppy, let her run about in the garden a bit more before bedtime. I'll be back next time with case 5 or Bloodborne, depending on where I get. Catch you later, everyone. Bye for now. Oh, and that's the trophy just popping there. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. I'll just let that all save run. Perfect. There we go. Cool. Bye for now, everyone.